Good morning, everyone. EagleX from ATX EagleX Gaming here today, and I have a deck profile of BT8 format, Beelstarmon, or the last of the Three Musketeers, really, that sees play for the BT8 format, and this is without the use of starter decks, so you guys can be prepared for upcoming regionals. Real quickly, before I do the deck profile, I do want to real quickly shout out, I will be hosting a BT8 tournament Thursday, June 2nd. The intention of this is to promote the channel, have some fun community growth, and just prepare everyone for upcoming events, regionals like ACON, or for the online Top Cut, Carica Magica ones, and all that. And just to show off, I will have some prizings. So we have a top 4 playmat here in the top left. I'm going to be raffling away some of the Gabumon Shakti Emote t-shirts. I have little Sunomon memory counters, and then I also have a champion playmat exclusive to that first place person who wins it all. And then there's going to be some sealed product pricing as well. I hope this gets you guys excited up. And if you guys are listening to this, go ahead and drop a comment for which of the prizings you're most excited about. Are you most excited for sealed product, playmat, a raffle for the memory marker, t-shirt? Just let me know in the comments below, and I'll go ahead and raffle away a free pack to the winner. So let's get started with the deck profile, though. This will have a blue base for this Beelstar deck, and in case you guys don't know, Beelstar or Three Musketeers is a late game value heavy deck. It relies on using multiple late game Beelstars for very cheap or basically free to remove the opponent's board, use Nailbone, close out games by a rush Digimon you summon. And the deck gains a lot of value from the large discard pile, so your goal is to mill your deck through effects like the new card Missed Memory Boost, old cards like the Analog Use, or the traditional purple cycle mechanic of drawing a lot of cards, but because you draw a lot, you're going to pitch some to kind of compensate for the cheap draw. Setting up your blue fixture of choice is also a really big thing to enable the blue options in late game from Beelstar as well. And just when you play the game, you want to discard options from your hand that typically have the least priority and least playable per matchup. If you play against like a traditional rookie rush where you only see level 3s, you know that Howling Crusher and Cocytus Breath may be lower value, so that you can cast your higher value ones later. Now, talk about some of the deck combos and key things to be aware of. Calling for Darkness is in my build, and Calling for Darkness, just like Blinding Ray, can be played when there's no Digimon on the field, like Blinding Ray can be played with no security left. So you can just play it for 1 memory and put 2 Digimon from your trash to your hand. And one thing I really like in this deck is you can do infinite Beelstars through the use of Dracmon and Calling from Darkness. Dracmon's a rookie from the Purple Star deck that says, on play, return a 1-cost or 7-cost option from your trash to hand, which could be any of the 7-cost options, or Calling from Darkness. Calling for Darkness lets you delete a Digimon to return up to 2 Digimon. So if you play Dracmon, get Calling for Darkness, you can cast Calling for Darkness to get that Dracmon you just deleted and a Beelstar from your trash. It does cost 4 memory, but it's guaranteed infinite Beelstars in the late game. And when you use Beelstar, a late game target you'll use is Nailbone to flood the board with either Rush Digimon or a way to end your turn to slow down your opponent. It's like getting a Vilemon and a Psychon, which is really good for the Imperial matchup to deny their 3-cost level 4 for Jagras. And then other things to be mindful of, Analog Youth actually doesn't proc with just a Beelstar. You have to have sources, so a defeat over Beelstar is the only way you'll be able to proc his memory gain and egg-hatching effect. And then Psychmon actually can be a bit of trouble, as he could prevent you from playing Beelstar for cheap. So be mindful of that. It is great for the mirror match, though. If you end your turn with a Nailbone without being able to do lethal, you can make your opponent's Beelstars cost 12. Now for the deck profile itself, and like I kind of mentioned, this is a deck focused around late game and controlling board through the 7-cost options and milling. And your win con is normally holding out till late game, so you can summon a really large board through all the Nailbones and rushing down your opponent for the last few checks. Now you'll notice that I'm very heavy on removal options and the blue package in particular. The reason I really like the blue package is because it is the answer to some of your worst matchups in the form of X Antibody, which counters your removal, besides bouncing effects. And if they do have prevention from being bounced, you can use Howling Crusher to strip all their sources and remove basically all the buffs they have. A very similar thing for like any aggro deck. The bouncing's really strong. Fly Bullet's strong for deletion for any generic level 6 stack deck. And then you have one of each Musketeer option for flexibility, because there are times where some of them are better than others. Other cards I want to point out, you have 2 rush targets being Promote and being Black Gatomon. Black Gatomon is really solid to hold in hand if you have a Fixer and Mist Memory boost out. Kinkaku Promote is really good if you already have like a rookie in hand, because it'll basically be a 5-cost rusher as well. So you can EVE over any rookie for 2. So it's another Mist Memory boost tamer scenario. Now, just overall deck profiles overview. I think this deck is a bit more difficult than the Armor Rush deck I showcased last time, because there is more thinking about late game, evaluating trash, evaluating board state if you have to use an option to remove the board, or if you want to progress and go for the late game value. So valuing resources, what you need now versus later. I think you have a very solid matchup into Yellow Rapid Hybrid, because they set up time with Tamers, but you're going to be setting up filling your trash, which is faster than them filling up their Tamers on board to get value. So you'll be able to clear them and ideally play a bunch of Beelstars and flood the board before they can really respond. Black or Gray is a tall stack deck. Tall stack decks are going to die to the options, either insecurity or being cast from Beelstar. And then Imperial and Massamon, I think, are more of a coin flip matchup. The reason I would say that is because you have 13 options that could really hurt Imperial as it swings into security, as all of them should be able to remove or delete something. Star Deck Mastamon is a very slow deck on average, so you are able to go to late game and get the good BL Star value and respond to their boards, which honestly aren't that crazy for Musketeers to handle. But I do think X Antibody is a bit more difficult of a matchup because of its immunity to deletion effects from the new Oriyumon and from Doru Greymon, which is why we have the blue base to kind of help accommodate that. Well, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. With that being said, take care, y'all.